Hey, we're here. We're here. We're here. Guess what? My name is Sylvester, and guess what? I am the moderator for this 3 day, much anticipated Visible or Vanish Masterclass. And I would like to assure you today that this is that meeting that you have been wanting to attend. And guess what? Again, in the academic environment, we find ourselves getting published in places where we think, okay, would give us the right visibility that we need. But getting published is not enough. If your work isn't in a high impact journal, if your work isn't discoverable, if your work is not citable, if your work is not visible, that work disappears. And that's the reason why Bolaji, Yusuf, and we decided to bring together seasoned researchers and editors to host this masterclass tagged The Visible or Vanish in the World of Academia. Now, before we go deep into this program, I would like to recognize everyone that's watching right now. So please, what you can do for us right now is type your name and where you're watching from. Let us know that you are here and we will recognize you. I would like to bring up on stage our co-host Bolaji and Ajani. But before I do that, what is my role as moderator for today? My role is simple. I'm just going to be like you. I'm going to be here to learn. My duty would be to ensure that you and we all draw value for our time that we spend in this particular masterclass. So right now, I'm going to make welcome Bolaji and Ajani. Bolaji and Ajani, where are you guys? So let me bring them up quickly. I think I see them behind the stage right now. Give me a moment. Okay, Bolaji, where are you? Okay, one moment. Okay, this is Ajani. Ajani, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Sylvester. How are you? How you doing?
I'm very fine, thank you. And how are you today? Bolaji, how are you doing?
Good.
I'm fine. Good evening.
Bolaji, this is the most anticipated event in the academic circle right now. What do you think about today, now that the most anticipated day is here? What do you think about this event?
Yeah, I'll just. I'm actually happy first, and I because this event has taken months. Months of preparations. We've had a lot of planning, brainstorming, and and here we are today. So I would say I'm the happiest person today to have had this event holding, and I am actually very certain that this program will meet the expectations of many researchers out there, early career researchers, particularly academics, and all kinds of professionals who want to drive their scholarly might in the world of scholarship and academia. Thank you.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Ajani, what about you? What are your hopes for this masterclass today? We will spend the next few minutes to welcome everybody, hear a few words from you, introduce our resource persons, and then we'll go into the debate for today. There's a lot we are going to be doing today. Today being day one, we'll form a foundation into what will become a milestone for many of us in our careers. So, Ajani, let's hear from you.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a great opportunity to be here live and direct with our loved ones all across Africa. And as you know, we have actually perceived the gap in terms of scholarly communication practices across all levels of disciplines in Africa. And we've been asking ourselves these questions: why, and why are people still finding it very hard to navigate around these loopholes? And we feel like, okay, let's come together, let's see how we can actually make reflections on this, and and make a difference in the world of academia. And that is why we have put to this. And we expect much more. Of course, we expect participation, and we expect our fans across the globe, across Africa, in Nigeria as well, to have the best of what we can offer. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you very much, Ajani and Bolaji. Ajani and Bolaji, they came together with this idea, and they are really passionate about researchers being able to break the jinx of top-rated journals, and for every researcher to know how to structure a research work, how to get methodology right. So, and this is indeed be a 3 day of intensive research clinics, right? And research writing and structuring clinics. And it will teach us also how to publish in the right places. They will teach us also how to position our research for impact, as well as building a credible global profile. So, in the next 3 days, I want to advise us to expect practical demos, practical insights, writing clinics, and some tactics that you may never have heard about. Because I've actually been in the circle of these people, and hanging around them has really impacted me academically. So I want to say this is really going to be a great learning experience. So, what you can do right now, because any moment from now, we're going to be inviting the keynote speaker, who I see is backstage already. What you can do for us now is share this video. Share this video with colleagues who you know are in academia. Okay. So, but before we do that, I'm going to spend the next 2 minutes to recognize our colleagues who are online. So, quickly, I see Bukunola Latif joining from Crawford University. Thank you for being here. Following Shaw is from Babcock University. Thank you. Khadija is joining from Kenya, Lamu Fort Library. Thank you for being here, Khadija. Inyo Bong is watching from Akwa Ibom. And I see Aimana, I see Dr. Blessing Ogunjimi from Calabar. Bukola is also here from Ondo State. Nene Favor Obasi. I see Abubakar from Ibadan. I see Halima from Kano. It's so beautiful to know that we cut across all the states in Nigeria. And I'm seeing Priscilla from Delta State. Thank you for being here, Mar. And Dr. Messi is also here from Port Harcourt. I'm really happy to see you here, Mar. And Dr. Charis from Owerri, Nekede, the Federal Polytechnic over there. She's always in our programs. Amazing. We're really happy to have you here. I see Umar. We're glad to have you here. What you can do for us right now is please share this video. Please share with your colleagues, because immediately after now, I'm going to invite the resource persons. I'm going to introduce them. And Professor Chisita from South Africa will be taking the keynote address. And once he takes over, once he's done with the keynote address, we will come for a session where we will talk about research challenges that researchers face. So today is more of a fireside chat panel session where we're going to have opportunities to ask these resource persons questions. Any questions you have in mind, today is the day you ask that question. Then tomorrow is the day we go into the training proper. So today is a free day for everybody to come up, ask questions to any of the facilitators. I see Dr. Oluchi from Enugu. Thank you for being here. We are happy that you're here, Doc. Thank you so much, and we hope that you all stay till the end. So at this point, I would like to invite other speakers who are here right now on the stage, backstage with us. Now that we have recognized all our guests, in no particular order, I would like to bring up on stage Dr. Diana. Dr. Diana is in Ghana. Dr. Diana, good evening, ma'am. Dr. Diana, good evening. Hello. Bolaji, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so maybe that's Dr.
You.
Diana's internet. Professor Wolabi, can you hear me? Good evening, Prof.
Good evening, sir.
Yes. How are you today? Hello, Prof.
I'm fine.
Okay, so
I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah, I just want our participants to get to meet all the resource persons, because with effect after today, there won't be introduction anymore. So tomorrow is an intensive class training for 2 hours. Next tomorrow is another intensive class training for 2 hours. But today is just an introductory day where they get to ask you any questions. So at this moment, I'd like to let you know that Professor Kehinde Owolabi is a professor of library and information science, and he's the university librarian at FUNAB in Abeokuta. He's a workaholic academic. He completed his PhD in record time with a sterling performance, and he's sincerely just amazing. He's as tireless as you can ever describe, and ever relenting researcher with over 60 research articles to his credit. Professor Wolabi, we welcome you to today's session. What would you like to say to our participants today?
Thank you very much, the coordinator. I just want everybody to know that research is not as difficult as we thought. All what we need to do is to create time. If you can create time for research and you have a mentor, you are good to go.
Exactly.
The ability to conduct a research depends on our level of tolerance and ability to sit down and read. If you can follow this, I want us to know that we get there quickly. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So it's really nice to hear that from you, Prof. Professor Rexwhite, good evening, Prof.
Yeah.
Professor Rex, good evening, sir. We can't hear Professor Rex. Maybe I should activate his other camera. Professor Rex, good evening, sir. Can you hear me? Hello, Professor Rex. Can you hear me?
I think he can't hear you.
Okay. So I'm just going to move on to, I think I saw Magnus. Magnus.
Hello, I can hear you.
Okay, how are you, Prof?
Yes, I can hear you faintly.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know why the connection is not strong.
Okay. Okay, don't worry. Everything gets normal as time goes on. I trust that everything will get normal. So, Dr.
I can
Diane,
hear
are
you
you here now?
faintly.
Can you hear?
No problem.
Yeah.
Just go ahead.
Okay. So, Professor Rex, I would like you to share a couple of words with our audience and participants today regarding this masterclass, because today is a foundational event. Okay, I take it that Professor Rex didn't hear me. We'll solve that issue later. So, Madam Diana, please, could you please talk to us? How is Ghana today, and what words do you have for our participants today?
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
madam.
I can hear you.
Good evening, everyone.
Yes.
Greetings from Ghana. I look forward to having a great learning experience with you in terms of research.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, Dr. Diana is a senior assistant librarian at Sam Jonah Library in the University of Cape Coast in Ghana, and we're glad to have her here today. Let's hear from
Okay.
Magnus. Magnus, good evening,
Yes.
Magnus.
So,
Yeah,
good
good
evening,
evening, everybody.
audience from all over the world. Some persons are from different.
Oh my goodness. I think Professor Rex,
Can I go ahead?
I think his signal is delaying, so that's the reason why. But this is just to help us ensure that everything goes fine tomorrow and next. So this is just the foundational day. So let's hear from you, Magnus. Hopefully, Professor Rex comes back.
All right. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I am very excited at this opportunity. This is one opportunity that we have been yearning for in academics because research is a universal language that we all speak as academics. And quickly, as a way of setting the ball rolling, I just want to say that everyone that has come to this program are going to have a wonderful learning experience. Research is a skill, actually, and like every other skill, it takes perseverance, it takes time, it takes patience. But when you set your mind to it, you will definitely be a master at it. So I want to welcome everyone to this program and hope we get a very wonderful learning experience. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So one more time, I would like to I would like to introduce one more person to us, the person of Idris Ridwan. Idris, good evening, and how are you today? Okay, I think we lost Idris there. So at this point, I would like to say welcome everybody to the Visible or Vanish Masterclass. This, like I said, is going to be an intensive research class. So at this moment, I would like to introduce the program to us. So what you see on the screen now is going to be the program for our 3-day event. Give me a moment to pull that on our faces so that we see. So today, Professor Collins is going to take the keynote address, and once he's done with the keynote address, we will come back and then we will all interact in a panel style session. And there are a couple of questions regarding research that we are going to be taking. So immediately, Professor Collins takes his keynote address on the topic, the future of research visibility in a saturated academic world, we will go over to activities. So having said this, ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to make welcome Professor Collins Chisita. Professor Collins, good evening, sir, and how are you?
Oh, I'm fine. How are you, Mr. Sylvester?
I'm very well. I'm very well. Thank you so much. How is South Africa today?
No, it's quite okay. It has been raining like I don't know since morning, but now it's quiet. But it looks like the rains are still going to come.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. So at this moment, Prof, we would like to just read your profile briefly and introduce you to the people. Professor Collins Chisita holds a PhD in Library and Information Science. He has been working with the Department of Information Science at the University of South Africa, UNISA, as a research fellow in Pretoria, and currently at Durban University of Technology, and he's a lecturer there. He's an editor, writer, researcher, and he's so many things all in one. And in May 2025, at the conference in Namibia, He became the first recipient of the AFLIA Open Scholarship and Open Science Award for Scientific Excellence. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to us the keynote speaker for the Visible or Vanish in Academia Masterclass. Professor Chisita, the floor is now yours.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, the organizers and everyone who is in the different parts of the world. Welcome. It's a pleasure to be with you here, courtesy of Sylvester and the team. Sylvester, are you going to flight my presentation?
Yes, we're going to do that.
Okay, thank you so much. So you can start. Okay, yeah. Thank you very much, everyone. My topic is there, visibilized or dematerialized, exploring research visibility in overloaded research domains. Basically, I think research is developed since time immemorial, and visibility has become the buzzword that reverberates through all corners of the globe, in academic institutions, in conferences, and any other activity that involves knowledge generation and knowledge sharing, knowledge use, among others. Is highlighted before that if you are not visible in research, it means that you are not existing. So how do you realize visibility? It is through ensuring that your work is findable, it's discoverable, it's findable, it's retrievable, it's usable, and it's citable, and it's also shareable and also preservable for future use by future generations. So while we are focusing on citations, we should not also forget salutations, because it is the norm that we should greet. So I greet you all from wherever you are as we explore this topic. Next slide. Basically, the concept of citations has become a very topical issue in research and in the academia, and because of issues to do with the promotion, issues to do with the funding, issues to do with support from local international organizations, and also the issues to do with power, the issues to do with visibility, the issues also to do with securing collaborative partnerships, and issues also to do with ensuring that ideas remain relevant, and research is not just research for the mere sake of researching, but that research has an impact, and that impact can be qualified and quantified by how that work is cited, how that work is used to enhance the lives of communities, realize organizational objectives, and also fulfill expectations that have to do with the lives of people. So we have moved from the slogan, publish or perish, to publish or perish, self-archive and flourish, and visible or vanish. So it means that visibility has become the key driver, right? I won't be going over my presentation word by word, because as they say, if power corrupts, PowerPoint can also corrupt you. So it's just, the PowerPoint is just like a guide to what we are going to be doing, right? Basically, we find that within the
Hello. Hello, Bolaji. Can you hear Prof?
No, I can't hear him again. I think we lost him. But it's freezing. I think he's online.
Okay. I see that Prof is trying to make some very great points, setting the tone, um, on what is obtainable nowadays in the academic system. And I was particularly drawn to what he said about emphasis on more citations and salutations. So hopefully, Prof will be joining us shortly. So, but I don't know. Perhaps let me ask you, Bolaji, what are your thoughts about what are your thoughts about citation? Is there any, can you say a work is of impact without citations? Is there any work that you can say this work is impactful? It's a quality work, it's a very relevant work, but it lacks citations. How do you measure the impact of a work, of a research output? Yeah.
Yeah. I think one of the best ways is to measure impact or research impact is most conventionally is through citations. And you hear people saying stuff like H index and all of that. So all of these are mechanisms in which a research impact is being measured, and that is the global standard. So citation growth is one of the most very important mechanism to identifying a research impact. So if your citation is not on a particular paper, it means people are not reading that work. Of course, research should be usable. People should be able to use your paper and make decisions, make policies and whatnot. So when your paper is not being used, so it means that work is not being cited. So all of these are, of course, we will say categorically that citation is akin to research impact.
So are you saying that even though I've done all the right things, let's say after everything I learned from this workshop today, after everything I learned and I do the right things, publish in a very reputable journal, and I don't get citations, does it mean that I've done what could have gone wrong? If I don't get those citations, does it mean that my work still doesn't carry the value that it should?
Sorry, I didn't get you. I think I lost your points.
Okay, I was trying to say, what if I do everything right? I do everything right, and the citation in my work still doesn't count. So my work doesn't count as much as it should do. Hello, are you there?
Getting you now, but I think I missed your point. Yeah.
Okay, okay. I was trying to let me bring Magnus on board. Magnus, did you get my question?
Yes, I got your question. Can I jump in?
Yes, please. Let's hear what you have to say about this.
Okay, quickly, there are two ways to this thing. The first thing is that if you don't get cited the way you ought to be cited, it could be that your work is of poor quality. Because in the global stage, people cite works that are adjudged to be of good quality. So that is number one. Then number two, it also signals that your work does not have good visibility. Okay, we've seen cases where you find a very wonderful article, but it doesn't have any citation. So what could go wrong is that that
Yeah.
work has not been given the necessary visibility. And I think that is part of the things we are going to be learning in this particular training. Okay, so like Bolaji said, conventionally, your citation is a reflection of the impact that your work is making in the academic community. Okay, but it gets dicey when this work gets to policymakers. They might not necessarily cite the work, but it is making impact on their own end. They are using this article to drive policy. They are using this article to make changes. So they might not cite the work, but it is also making societal impact. So that's why I said there are two ways to look at this. But what this tells us is when you have finished publishing your manuscript and it's now an article, you should strive towards giving the work the necessary visibility. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we'll just continue with the panel session. That's what we're doing right now. Today, this is everything we want to do today. Questions and answers, issues around research in general. And let's just keep the conversation going on till we have Prof back. Today is strictly to take questions, and tomorrow we'll focus on all the issues about structuring a research, methodology, design, and every other thing about the research. As then down into publishing, how to the how to identify predatory and high impact journals, Q1, Q2 to 4. The whole concept demystified. All these are issues that we're going to be looking at tomorrow, and in a more practical way, not in a conversational way like we're doing today. Practically being shown on the screen. If you are referring us to any site, you're showing us how to do it, how to structure our works, how to write our statement of problems, everything. These are the things that we'll be treating from tomorrow. So very quickly, I want to ask one more question. Let me throw this question to Bolaji. Some scholars seem to struggle with problem statement formulation. Okay, and Magnus was talking about the quality of a work, right? Now, and most times it starts with the problem statements. So I want to ask, what do you think makes the problem statement of a research work to be a weak problem statement or a publishable one in a Q1 or Q2 journal? Bolaji.
Okay. Okay. I think let me address your question in a generic manner. Let me not limit answering this question to just writing the problem statement, because that is not just the only factor that could be considered for getting your work published in a top tier journal. Basically, what people do not understand most times is that they write good work, but then they fail to um, bridge the gap they are trying to cover. Every research work should be able to contribute or add new knowledge. But most of the times, what we do is just to repeat old knowledge. and you may not, in essence, get any reputable journal that would consider any work that is overflogged. Because of course today we're actually in an era where we are talking about the fifth industrial revolution, where we are interacting with machines and all of that. And you, as an editor, for instance, sees a paper that is talking about the use of ICT, you know, common the use of ICT. So of course that will work for me as a reviewer or perhaps an editor. I will just throw off that kind of work outside the book, because that work for me does not have the relevance, does not carry the novel idea, and it could be not, for me, it's not actually original, because every work that comes to me, perhaps as an editor or a reviewer, I want to see the originality, the novelty, the relevance of that work, the significance of that work, what contribution is that work making to knowledge. Of course, a number of times we like contributing to knowledge, but of course, have you asked yourself, our researchers, if we are making new knowledge, not just contributing to old knowledge, are we like, most of the times when I go on Google Scholar, ResearchGate, and all of that, I try as much as possible to find new gap, new knowledge that nobody perhaps has never covered. And that makes it so distinctive all the time, because any editor who sees your work wants to grab it, with all alacrity. So I think for me that what sells through the most is having your work original, having it novel, innovative, new, and bridging the gap in existing knowledge.
Okay, thank you very much. So I would like to ask Ajani this question, because I think the concept or the idea seems to be overflogged. Like, we talk about it so much, new knowledge. Sometimes postgraduate students who are here, they can attest to the fact that their lecturers their supervisors will always tell them something new, a groundbreaking idea. Now, how do you get to know what is groundbreaking? Now, Bolaji, in the past 1 2 months, I've seen you giving publication updates in very high quality journals, right? And these ideas, they seem to be out of the box. So let me ask, let me start with asking Dr. Diana. Let's hear from Dr. Diana. Dr. Diana, what is that unique thing that would help you come up with a work that editors would see as groundbreaking, as not overflogged? How can we actually, in practice, reflect what Dr. Bolaji has just shared?
Thank you for your question. To come out with a groundbreaking research, it means that, first of all, you have to have much knowledge. You're supposed to have a topic that is focused. Your topic should be innovative, and you try as much as possible to also review literature, identify the gaps in various areas. You can even start from, research is almost from known to unknown. So your locality, let's say Ghana, where I come from, what are the challenges? What are the problems or research gaps in my area, the field that I am on? Which areas what can I do? Then after identifying the research topic, your objectives should also be specific. It should be more innovative. Let them use that word. Your research method should be rigorous, ensuring that you have a research method that can answer your research questions. You have theories that you should be able, even the analytical tools that you are going to use, you are also ensure that you are using novel analytical tools. Some of the research methods and analytical tools are not of date. some are old. So you are conducting research now, you can't go back to, let's say, 2000, what they were using to apply in research to use. No, you have to look out for more innovative methodology and to analyze your work. Your findings, the findings is also a key when you are uh, coming out with a groundbreaking research. Ensure that your findings are concrete, they are
Yeah.
evidence based, people can easily relate to it, and it should inform policy. Your findings should inform policy. It should be innovative. That's a bit that I can say. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much. I like that you mentioned something about objective. Now, because I am assuming myself like to be like other participants, and some participant may be wondering, um, there, what makes an objective to be seen as a red flag? Should objectives be smart or hypothesis driven? How should an objective be crafted, and how should it be crafted that it can be said to be, that it links to novelty? I don't know if anyone can share some insight on that. Ajani, how should objectives be
Okay.
crafted in a,
Okay.
okay, you want to say something? Let's see if Ajani is here. We
I just want to give a practical illustration of what was discussed earlier.
Okay, okay.
Okay, how do you know trends in your discipline? These are very practical. Now, if you go to a particular journal of interest, let's say IFLA journal, you can see what is trending in that particular issue. Then there are some journals that you see call for papers. You can look at what direction, what is the future direction in this particular profession. Okay, so recently, IFLA is looking at AI, ethical issues in AI. They are looking at human interactions with AI and all of that. So if I go to a particular journal of interest, I can just take a look at what it is, what is their focus, what is their direction. It gives me a clue. Okay. And also, when you pick a very good manuscript that is of interest to you, or a very good article that is of interest to you, there are authors that could give you an insight on future directions in that particular area. So you can drag your own research from there, or you can extend knowledge from there. Okay, so
That's
with
true.
that, you can do something innovative, you can do something new. To answer the question of objectives, in the course of my presentation in later days, I'm going to be looking at some frameworks. There's what we call the PICO framework. Okay, when you are taking an objective, that objective must be feasible. Okay, you don't just carry an objective that is too broad that will give a sense of inability to achieve that particular objective. So your objective should reflect feasibility. Your objective should also flow from the statement of problem or from the background of study that you have established. Okay, and also you should be able to identify what is going the benefits of this study at the end of the day. It should also show in your objective. So objective is like a roadmap for your study. It's going to determine how your literature review will be structured. It's going to determine what your findings will be at the end of the day. It's going to determine the significance. So objective basically gives you a roadmap for the entire study.
Wow, thank you very much. Can I ask an additional question to that? Um, is it possible that there a benchmark as to the particular number of objectives for a particular kind of manuscript, or how many objectives are too many, or how many are too small for a strong manuscript? Is there any recommendation, or what determines the number of objectives you use for a particular work?
Okay. I personally think that your objective should be a reflection of your title. or a reflection of what it is you want to achieve at the end of the day. So it means that I can have two objectives for my study, and I will be able to pursue and achieve that objectives thoroughly. I can have three objectives. What I come up with as an objective should be deemed to have exhaustively handled the title of my work. So there is no clear cut on the number. The advice is that don't take so many objectives that you will not be able to handle exhaustively in a particular study.
Thank you so much, Dr. Idris. Please, what do you have to say in all this, in all of this so far, Idris? Yeah, go ahead, please. Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay, thank you very much. I have been following the conversation. First one, you can't create a larger than life project and trying to fix everything that you want in the project. Because for the manuscript, you have to have a target. And you don't just want to write everything and just create a whole house. So having a very specified objective that is tailored towards the topic is very, very important. Very, very important. And well, for a manuscript, I don't think someone should have like maybe two objectives in target as to what someone wants to achieve, rather than having a very bulky objective without having any focus. I think that's my feeling on that.
Yeah, that's true. So at this point, we will now go into journal rankings. Let's talk a little bit about journal rankings. But before I'll go into journal rankings, Q1 to Q4, and talking about impact factor of a journal. Before we go into all that discussion, I would like to let all our participants know that we are currently on the program, and our program for today is 1 hour 30 minutes. 1 hour 30 minutes. Tomorrow is 2 hours, and next tomorrow is 2 hours. So for today, the issues we're talking about right now are areas where we really want to talk about. So please follow us, and if you have any questions, please type them in the comment section. So I would like to put this next question to Bolaji to quickly explain to us what a Q1 journal is, what a Q2 journal is. What do people mean when they say Q1 journal, Q2 or Q3 or 4 journals? And we'll come back to Ajani if we can hear from him. Ajani will also tell us what impact factor is all about. And let's start with Bolaji. Over to you, please.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for that question. I really do think that um, most of these top tier journals are mostly ranked, particularly Schimago provides ranking for Scopus. And that ranking for Schimago is basically um, done in about 4 quarters. You know, we have the quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4. And basically, the quarter 1, of course, from the word one, the one in this category is ranked the highest, all right? While 2 follows, 3, and the last is 4. And basically, these journals are ranked in these different quarters as per their what's it called, their site core and their strong holdings. You know, like most of the times, even recently, like I want to say that there were journals that dropped from their different quarters. Of course, some journals that were in Q1 as of last year, earlier this year in January, dropped. And that is not because of those, maybe those journals are not doing well. That is because of maybe, of course, if the journal is not doing so well, maybe in terms of its site core and all of that, it drops, and that affects the ranking of the journal. Of course, a journal as well may also be delisted from quartile. If a journal is not in Q1, Q3, Q4, Q1, Q2, 3 and 4, a journal could be delisted from quartile, and of course the journal will be findable in Scopus, but the journal is not in quartile, and that also means that the what we call this the ranking of that journal has dropped. And if the journal is not careful, the journal may even be delisted from Scopus. That happened recently in January. A number of journals that many people do not know, and that's the problem. Many people do not know that those journals have been delisted from Scopus. So the storyline is simple: is that in knowing the journals that falls in these different categories, appears to be that most times people do not actually know, do not follow up frequently to check in these journals. You have to visit their website, visit sites like Skimago to check the rankings. And of course, these journals are ranked in all disciplines. In all field of knowledge, we have Q1 journals for biology, Q1 journal for library science, Q1 journal for computer science. Of course, we have the top journals. And there are journals that over the years have consistently maintained their ranking. They have not dropped. They have not dropped. So it's like that. So I think that is all I have to say about the ranking.
Okay, thank you so much. Here is Zara. Zara Musa is asking a very important question. I was going to ask this question, by the way. Zara says, I still don't understand the concept of theoretical and conceptual framework. Who can help us? I don't know who is good at theoretical and conceptual framework here. Dr. Diane, is this or Tijani? Are you here?
Let me. I will handle that.
Okay, yes.
I'll,
Okay, let's hear from you.
yeah. What was the question again, please? What's the question again?
It says, I still don't understand the concept of theoretical and conceptual framework. So can you explain
Okay.
this to Zach?
Okay. So when you say theoretical
My voice.
framework, these are established principles, you understand, that actually analyzes a phenomenon in various disciplines. Do you understand? So the essence of theory in any study is to give a direction. You understand? To be able to explain why a certain phenomenon come into existence. So in a study where you now have a theory, you are expected to use that theory to explain the phenomenon at which you are trying to establish, which is the roadmap of your work. Now, when you now say conceptual framework is a framework that is being designed from a researcher's idea, based on the idea he has been able to infer from the theory and the ideology he or she has been able to impose, to put together. So a conceptual framework is not what you perceived. You understand? You now assume that, okay, from the theory, from what I assume in this theory, and from my own perspective, I'm putting it together why this study has to go towards this roadmap and why it should be like this. I think that is what the difference between them. Thank you very much.
It's okay. So what I'm going to appeal to you tomorrow, tomorrow is more practical. Today, we are not going to be
Exactly.
doing any screen sharing. Today, we are just talking around these issues. So what I want to appeal to you tomorrow, I know I don't need to appeal. It's all part of the plan. Tomorrow, we are going to be sharing the screen. So when you are saying this is a theoretical framework and this is how you construct one, a conceptual framework, this is how you construct
Okay.
one or design one, right? So all this will be
Okay.
demonstrated tomorrow, because if you agree with me,
Of course.
like I said, my business in this meeting for this next 3 days is to ensure that everybody gets value for their time, right? So I'm going to act
Of
like
course.
I know nothing, and you have to help me to understand that everything about research. So let's quickly look at the comment
Yeah.
section to see if there's any other person that's asking any other question. Um, Follow Shaw is saying, as an interdisciplinary scholar with health information literacy or digital health literacy specialization, who works as a lecturer, most pure library science journals don't often accept articles? This question is not complete. Okay, I think it's
Okay.
continued in the other line.
Let
Wait, I think it says most pure library science journals don't often accept articles in my area of specialization, especially those listed
okay.
for publishing in the department. What do I do?
Okay. The moderator, can I answer
Yeah.
that? Or are you calling somebody?
Um, if you
Okay.
understood it, you can go ahead. After,
Yes, I understood it very well. Yeah. One of the factors that actually brings about rejection or why.
okay. Um,
Let me help him. I
Hello.
think
Okay,
he's
let
off.
No,
me
no,
let me
no.
Hello.
continue with.
I'm here. I'm here. I think it's the
Okay.
network. Are you with me? Are you with me?
yes,
Okay.
I said,
go ahead.
Let's
aha.
go
The
ahead.
other time you are talking about why some journals are actually rejecting papers and the likes. I remember you also I could recall you talked about objectives and the like. One of the things that journals mostly accept, whether journal in librarianship or whether journals in sciences, whether journals in any field of study, one of the first thing they look at, even before they look into your abstract, is the novelty, the idea you are bringing, the title, and that novelty actually come down from the idea you are bringing from your title. So, and the way we are being exposed to in terms of research, the way we are being trained in this part of the country, I don't know, but probably in Africa, I don't know. Most times people feel that, okay, the way we do our normal master project or thesis is that you have your independent variable, dependent variable, you want to bring it like that. Don't forget, most of these journals are Eurocentric, and what they want is something that will make you think, something that is imaginative in nature. And that is why most times when you could have a substance in your work, but when the title is not attractive, first and foremost, text rejection, that is the first thing you get. So it is from that title that you now streamline down, coming down to the abstract. So it is when your abstract is catchy, being detailed enough to tell you, okay, what is inside your work, that is when they will decide whether to accept or not. I remember you were talking about objective the other time. My colleagues have actually made justice to that, but there is a gap I was trying to fill up. Probably because of network, I couldn't, fix myself in properly. So one of the things is that before you can set an objective to be catchy, before you can address an objective, you must have read through literatures. And before you can come up with a topic, you must have observed a gap in literature. So it is those gaps that you observe in literature that you are putting together as an idea to establish a topic. And if you are setting your objective, I expect it to be born. It should be a burnout from those literature review that you have read. Things, the gaps that you have observed, that you are using to address your study, that it should be your roadmap. That is why when you do your study objective, it has to also be in line with your literature review, because it is those gaps that you observe in your literature review that you are translating into objective that your study intends to address. Thank you very much. I think I've answered that. Thank you. Hello, Sylvester.
Thank you. Thank you. I think you've made a very wonderful contribution to that question. But then there's something I want to say regarding
Okay.
this particular question, and I think it's very, very important to contribute to this question. One very important thing that this caller, Folorunsho Adenike, also
Mm-hmm.
needs to know is that she needs to consider the scope and philosophy of the journal. She's patronizing
Mm-hmm.
information and library information science journal. We understand that she's working on health information literacy and digital health literacy. Of course, not all the journals in library science will take something like this. There are journals that are specifically health related. And of course, I want to have the journal in which Magnus is one of the editorial board member, I think Journal of Health Informatics or something. that journal will say something like this from you. So there are a whole number of journals that are in library science that do not and or may not take anything that has to do with health information literacy. So the scholar please should take note of the scope and philosophy of every journal she intends to publish in. Thank you.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, let me say something here.
Okay,
Hello,
thank you.
Sylvester.
Thank you very much. Because of time, okay, yeah, you can spend the next 1 minute to make your
Okay,
comments,
I just want to
Magnus.
let those participants know that every manuscript has its home in terms of journal. Okay, whatever it is you've written, there must be a journal that would accept that manuscript if it is novel. So, what the person needs to do is to spend time to consider the scope of each journal, then spend time also to see the previous articles that have been published in that particular journal. It will really be of guide. That manuscript in your hand has a home if it is novel and if it is well crafted. Thank you.
Wow, wow. There's something I am learning from this interaction so far, and I hope that our participants are learning from this because not until I met people like you.
Sylvester.
Recommend a journal for you, and then you publish in that journal. But from all that we've learned so far, there's something that keeps coming up, that there's a process. You have to research, you have to know the scope, what that journal you intend to publish, what they are interested in. You have to know if it's a Q1, 2, or 3, or 4 journal, right? And there are a lot of considerations you must put in place before you decide where you publish any particular paper. So I just hope we are all taking notes of all these things. Now, let's quickly look at this question from a Tefia, a Tido. She says, how do we know journals that have been delisted or that have dropped in rankings? Because maybe today the journal is a Q1, Q2, tomorrow it has dropped. How do you know if it has dropped or which one has been delisted?
I think I did mention that earlier,
Okay.
and I think um, the best place, the best platform every scholar should always visit to understanding the ranking of each journal over time is Kimago. Is Kimago. Just type on your search engines, type Schemagos, Scimago, Schemago. When you go there, you will see the subject indexing according to various subject area. Click on your own subject area, then you see list of journals in perhaps library science, list of journals in maybe philosophy, list of journals in maybe health informatics or something. So you will get to see their rankings like that from Q1 to Q2. So the best platform to understanding the ranking of a journal or perhaps a journal is being delisted is through Schemago. And even if a journal should be enlisted, it's also still through Schemago. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I was just trying to put those thoughts you shared in notes. I just put it in the comment section. It's on the screen right now that every scholar should always visit Simago to verify or understand the ranking of a particular journal before they publish. So before you publish any work, this is the first place you may want to go. Now, the next question is from Umar. Umar is asking, how do we structure our research in such a way that policy makers will be interested in our research finding? I think who will help us, Dr. Diana? Can you you and Magnus? I think you can help us treat this.
Okay.
Hello, did you get me? Hello,
Can you hear
Magnus,
me?
over
Can I
to you,
jump
please.
in? Is Dr. Diana ready? Or can I take on the
Yes, please do.
question?
Yeah, go
No,
ahead. Go ahead.
okay.
Go ahead. We have
How
just
do I
few minutes.
structure our research in such a way that policymakers will be interested in the research findings? Okay, I think basically, if this person follows the right methodology, okay, and gets a quality manuscript that has novel findings, policymakers will be interested. But this is where it gets funny. Most policymakers want to see the social implication or the impact of your work. They want to see how your work is being able to bridge research and practice. Okay, and that is why it is encouraged or advisable that most manuscripts should have what we call social implications of the study. Policymakers want to see how I can use this manuscript to make impact, to implement. And that is also another reason why we have what we call summaries, which will be looking in the course of I think our third, the day TV, will be looking at summaries. So basically, if you have a good manuscript and you've been able to show clear implications or social impact of your work, policymakers will definitely be interested.
Wow, thank you. Dr. Diane, you wanted
Hello.
to say something. Go
Hello.
ahead.
Yeah, I want to include that. First of all, the work must be original.
Exactly.
Ensure that the work is original, is novel, and methodology, as Doc mentioned earlier. Your methodology is rigorous. Ensure that your work can easily solve societal problems. Sometimes you come out with a research that people have doubts about it. So your research must be proven otherwise, scientifically.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. That.
Uh, Moderator, can I add something to what they have said? Very
Yes, please.
short.
Go ahead.
Because if you would recall the way most of the way we write our recommendations, implications for policymaker and the likes, most of the times we use research language, we use research time. And it is none of these policymakers or stakeholders that are reading this work. So the most important and one of the key important things is that translating our implications of findings, recommendation into an infographic, something that can be representable, that can be published publicly, maybe on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on social media. And at the same time, there's a need for collaboration between academia or a researcher with some various stakeholders such as NGOs and the likes. Because if they are not translating most of this research output into a reasonable or readable or a friendly, informative, in a friendly format, something, of course, there's no how they can adopt all of these things. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Now, what you just mentioned is what we are going to be treating on day three. On day three, so and on day three, I think Magnus, you are going to be the one taking that, demonstrating to us how we can create infographics from our research work and then put them out there in ways that people can, policymakers, those who really need to take decisions from our findings, can actually make meanings from our research work, all right, instead of just publishing and let it end there. Stephen Ijoko says, this is an insightful session. I have come to learn in my current role that a journal indexed in Scopus can have different quarters. You see, this is another dimension to one of the first questions I had asked. It can have Q1, Q2. It can be in Scopus, but it has different dimensions depending on the subject category or area it's evaluated in. So thank you for that wonderful comment, Stephen. And Aimana says a research must be novel and well crafted. Great tips. Thank you, scholars. I believe a lot of us are drawing some lessons already. Following Shaw is back again, and she says the person also needs to know the policies in place in that field in order to know
Yes.
what other
Let me respond
policies
to
could.
that, please. Can I respond
Okay,
to
go
that?
ahead, please. Yes, please. Go ahead, please. Go ahead, please. We have 15
He's
minutes
out
before
of.
we close.
I think he's having a network glitch.
Okay. So
I
let me
guess.
ask Professor Chisita. Professor Chisita, are you here?
Yes.
Professor Chisita, I have a question for you. Can I ask my question, Prof?
Yes.
Now, Prof, I want you to be very sincere with me, Prof. You have a lot of experience in editing, in reviewing papers. As a matter of fact, I've seen you send back our works as a publisher, and I would like you to know what's one of those reasons why you in particular reject articles that comes to maybe a journal, maybe you are reviewing a work for a particular journal. Why do you reject some works of some authors? What are those red flags that you see that make you in particular to reject some works?
Works are rejected because they remember a journal has got its style, its house style, and if the researcher goes through editorial checks, and if they discover that it is falling short in terms of editorial checks, then that's the first start. This is usually done by the associate editor. So once the associate editor sees that the editorial, there's something wrong with the editorial checks, you were not following the format, maybe the referencing that is expected, maybe the abstract is supposed to be structured or unstructured, and you did the other way. That's one of the factors that also contributes to an article being rejected. We also look at the theme, that topic you are looking at. Does it fall within the scope of that journal? Because you cannot send a topic that is outside the scope of the journal to a journal. We also look at the originality, as highlighted by my sister there. How original is the work? What are the social implications of the study in terms of its benefits to policymakers, to scholars, to students, among others? And also methodology. How transparent is your methodology? So methodological transparency, if it's a journal article, is also very significant in terms of when you articulate your symbol, how you selected the symbol, and we also consider issues to do with communication, language. Sometimes some authors don't edit their works. They just send their works without having them edited. And this makes the paper unreadable. It's not well structured, it's not cohesive, and sometimes technical terms like abbreviations and etc. are not explained. You just use DNA there. But for the reader who does not know what DNA is, you need to first describe DNA, and then you now can abbreviate later on. So the reasons are many. And for books, we also the same principles apply. That's why I was saying that sometimes there is this erroneous belief that books or edited books or book chapters are the unwanted cousins of academic scholarship. Yet these type of intellectual assets are also bringing in another dimension from another angle, which is equally of value just as a journal article. Thank you.
Network glitch,
Hello?
I guess.
or from our moderator.
Yeah.
So there are so many reasons,
Uh,
but
yeah,
but
there are so many reasons. I want to also include that ethical violation is also another way of rejecting somebody's work. You are using humans, so at least you should be able to have concerns about their concern about ethics. Some do not consider that, so ethical consideration is also key in rejecting somebody's paper.
and also sometimes you have people who want some figures or tables, they just take them from Google or Pixabay or FreePic, and then they do not attribute, they do not acknowledge the sources of these
Sure.
diagrams or illustrations that they've used. It can also be another reason.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. I think
I guess
the,
Sylvester,
yeah,
Sylvester is
yeah.
still having network issues. Can I say something?
Yeah, please do, sir.
So,
Okay,
Thank you.
rejecting a manuscript is usually at two stages. Okay, the first stage is the desk rejection. And some of the things that could warrant a desk rejection, number one, if the manuscript is not within the scope of that particular journal, a desk rejection is inevitable. Then number two, if you have not followed the templates or the author's guide for that particular manuscript, you have not followed the instruction for authors, it means that there are tendency that manuscript will be rejected. Then number three reason one could get a desk rejection for his or her manuscript is if there is a perception by the editor that the methodology is faulty, or if there is a perception by the editor that the work is too shallow, it's not exhaustive enough, that manuscript will not go to the reviewer. Now, let's assume that our manuscript scaled through that desk rejection stage. What do reviewers look at for? Number one, reviewers might not really bother themselves at that level about your grammar. They could say one or two comments about your grammar, but there are some editors that will tell you not to consider much the grammars of that particular manuscript because, of course, they will do copy editing and all of that. What they want to see is this person achieve what he or she set out to achieve. You have objectives for your study. Have you been able to achieve it? Then what is the methodology that you follow through in achieving that particular objective? So reviewers are very big on methodology. They want to see if your methodology is detailed enough. If you omit here and there critical components in your methodology, there are chances that that work is not reproducible. And reviewers would likely suggest a rejection for that manuscript because they feel that you are not transparent enough in the process or in the procedure with which your findings were arrived at. Okay? And like I said earlier, even if your manuscript skip the desk rejection stage, reviewers can also look at depth. They want to know, is this work too shallow? Is this work fit for a global audience? If you are sending a manuscript to, let's say, International Journal of this, that, depending on your discipline, and it is a Scopus Q1 journal, and you are writing a manuscript on market women in SYC local government of Anambra State, Nigeria, is it of relevance to the journal's global audience? So I think these are some of the things we might need to look at for to be sure that our manuscripts, escape rejection, so to say.
please, I want to also add that even rejection is part of the research process because getting feedback from reviewers also helps in refining the work. So sometimes when they reject your work, don't just be discouraged. Even though you are sad, work on the feedback and you get the quality of your research.
Dr.
Oh,
Diane,
can I add on?
I would reflect on what you actually said. There are times that apologies that this is coming out from my own end, but there are times that many writers do claim that most of their manuscripts were rejected based on these Eurocentric ideology or something, or probably the journal editor is biased. What can you say about that? Are you saying that there is no biasment sometimes in terms of accepting publications? Mr. Bolaji, can you make reflections on that?
Yeah, yeah.
Mr.
I
Bolaji,
think, yeah, yeah. I'm on. They are most of the time.
hello, Professor
Yes,
Chisita?
Yeah,
I
I'm
will come
speaking.
in. Can I come in?
Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes, yes. Prof, come in, please. Prof, come in.
oh, oh, yes, there is bias. For example, you find, as I was saying in my presentation, there are different types of bias. Uh, Linguistic bias is one of them.
Aha.
Where you find that for you to gain prominence, you have to write in a language that is global accepted. Even though
Okay,
I could write in my own language, but for the sake of gaining visibility and
okay,
maybe acceptance, I write in English. And
okay.
uh, usually you discover that even now we say you can still research on anywhere, anytime because of technology. But
Mm,
if you try to research on, I'm from Africa, want to collaborate maybe with someone in America, and maybe the first or second author. Sometimes they question that this person, is he living in the USA or not? Is he living in that part of the world or not? So we cannot deny the issue of bias. It's bias. It's there. It manifests itself in various forms. In the reviews, uh, in the acceptance, in the rejections, in the citations, and everything.
mm. Thank you very much. Mr. Bolaji, what can you say about that?
No, I
Prof has
think
said something.
Dr. Magnus has something to say on this issue.
Okay, Dr. Magnus, let's go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, Prof has made very, very remarkable points. I just want to add that editorial bias exists in the research landscape or in the research ecosystem. We cannot deny editorial bias. I've heard an editor says that the journal is trying to spread articles of a particular issue within throughout across different countries. Now, because of that statement, that editor said that if more than one article is coming from a particular country, they are going to pick one and turn others. That could be an editorial bias or a
Oh,
policy, journal policy bias based on what they require or what they need at that point. They need to spread manuscripts across a particular issue, across different countries. Now, also, editorial bias can come when an editor is inclined to reading a particular manuscript in a certain kind of way. For instance, an editor that is a French person could find a little bit tendency or inclination towards accepting manuscripts from those angle because he or she can relate more with it. And there are editors that also believe that a particular country shun in poor quality materials. Let me use Nigeria, for instance. An editor could believe that Nigeria shun in poor articles. So there is an initial perception that they form when a manuscript is coming from that particular country. Okay, so it is when they take their time to read, they may want to now say, let us give this manuscript a try because it makes sense to them. So I believe that one of the ways we can break this bias is if we keep showing out very good quality manuscripts. Thank you.
Mm. Thank you very much. And that reminds me, that also reminds me of something.
Thank you.
If we are
Thank you so
to break
much.
bias, okay, if we're to break bias
Yeah,
at times,
thank you.
there's a need for international collaboration as well to make our manuscript accepted from this journal. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. So at this juncture, I would like to appreciate all our facilitators. But there's an information I would like to bring to us right now that what we have seen today is just it's nothing compared to the conversations we're going to be having tomorrow. Tomorrow is when the workshop or the masterclass starts properly. If you would allow me to use that word, if you allow me to say the workshop starts properly. Today was just for us to have an academic inspired conversation. Okay, I know some persons may have been expecting us to do some practical, but what we have done here today is not the usual, is not what you get or to see every day. I promise you, the people you see here on board this team today, I promise you, maybe one of those papers you have ever written, I know that one of them may have reviewed one of those papers. You know, there's what we call the blind review. Okay, so these are the people behind the scene. I'm sorry that I'm leaking out information, but then these guys are really the people we really want to interact with. So tomorrow is going to be a day of practical sessions, 60% pragmatic, and then just about 40% of theories and presentation of slides tomorrow. So tomorrow won't be this interactive back-to-back talk, but we'll have the experts teaching us one-on-one. Then secondly, I want you to know that at the end of this event, we are going to form groups and we're going to form research clinics where we are going to be pushing each other to the point where we make a publication in one of these Scopus journals that we will be learning about today in this class. So I'm assuring you that everyone, by the end of this event, there's the possibility that you should have not less than one or two papers, depending on the number of groups that you belong to. And the facilitators have committed themselves to ensure that we follow through with this for 1 month. Okay, and immediately after the 3 days, we will do a 5-day session one-on-one. We will be using Google Meet platform, not YouTube, and you'll be asking us questions and we'll be answering those questions. So I'm going to ask if Magnus is here, or let's say Ajani. What other expectations should participants expect for our next class tomorrow and next, please, as we're wrapping up now?
Of course, there is much to show off tomorrow. There is much of demonstration tomorrow. There is much to show from the title construction to the background introduction to the objective, how literature review must be aligned with your objectives, and how methodology should be structured. So this I think these are the critical and the technical aspect of paper writing. And I think just like you've said, there is the need for clustering, how we're going to put people together, but probably by the end of this training, put together, we gather them together, we form a group, and we give yourself a target of how to meet up a demand, and they have a coach. Each of these group will have a coach, definitely, that would that will train them on how to get this paper get together. They will go into on collaboration together. We make sure we publish a paper before the end of the year. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you so much. Now, well, that's the last word from Ajani. We are out of time now. So I want to appreciate everyone that's joining right now. Please, if you don't share this video, a lot of people will not get to learn what you have learned tonight. So please share this video with other people so they can learn. So Magnus, can we hear from you, your last words, and what you are specially bringing to the table tomorrow in your class, tomorrow and next?
Okay, thank you very much. I got logged out earlier, but I'm back. Like I started with, I want to say that research is a skill. This is very important. In fact, hold on to this. Research is a skill. And like every other skill, you grow in this thing. Okay? You move from beginner to intermediate to being a master in research. And I think this training is going to be a platform that will catapult us to that level of gaining mastery in research. And in the course of this 3 days program, having 2 days left, I'm going to be talking about methodology, how to craft a robust methodology. And I'm also going to be looking at in the third day how to actively promote your research. Like we have said, it's not just writing. After writing, how do you communicate your work to the outside world? Okay, so we are going to be exhaustively looking at that. Thank you very much, and I hope to see all of us in tomorrow's class.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, Bolaji, as we wrap up this session, oh, is there somebody say something? I thought I heard someone saying something.
Yes, the moderator, there's something I like to establish, and it's an idea that, you know, if you look at the couples of the categories of people that are forming the basis of these masterclass training, you could see that, because our audience might be thinking, why are they librarians? Why do we have a lot of librarians in the house? But I would just want to let you know that since we are knowledge curators, and the profession, what it teaches is to teach literacy, just like what my brother Dr. Magnus said. We are librarians, and one of the things that we are trying to dish out is to give that skills, to give that literacy, to be able to expose and liberate people on what challenges that they are finding. And I believe, hopefully by the special next tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So let's hear from, I think Dr. Diane wants to say something before we say good night.
Yeah, I want to tell the participant that they should take they should just learn hard for this great opportunity, because some of us did not get it this way. We learned it the hard way. So they should take opportunity for this great chance to come out with innovative research and groundbreaking research. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I just saw a beautiful comment from Amarachi Gold. Amarachi Gold says a research work has to be catchy, it has to be original, and must show its social impact. Learned a lot today. Thank you, Amarachi, for sharing the insights you learned from here. Professor Rexwhite, if you can hear, please join us in the studio to give your final words, because we'll meet tomorrow. For those of us who are on the free tier of this program, please bear in mind that only the eligible participants, the paid participants, will be given access into tomorrow's class and next tomorrow's class, the third day class. So please do wait to reach out to any of the admins if you'd like to join us in the next class. So having said that, let's hear from Dr. Bolaji.
Yeah, thank you everyone for making it up to this time. And I understand that our hopes are high, and of course our expectations are also high. But I want to assure us that you never made the wrong decision to joining this program. And I'm saying categorically that by the special grace of God, by virtue of the knowledge I have gathered, I'm going to share with us the publishing acts. A number of persons have always reached out to me and say, How do you do it? Scopus publishing is difficult. I all the time rejection, rejection. Is there anything I'm doing specially? And of course, there's something I do specially, and that will be taught, that will be exposed tomorrow and next tomorrow. We'll get to learn this knowledge. Of course, when the society where knowledge is open, and I want to share that knowledge with us. I like to see us in the next 2 days in class. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I see a senior colleague of mine here, Dr. Esther Okai. She's dropped so many wonderful words here. I'm sorry I missed out some of those wonderful nuggets. She says every article has a home. Just craft a good one, and people will help you find a place to publish it in case you don't have an idea. She also says that yeah, I think she was just trying to say the same thing about every article having a home. So with this, I want to believe that today has been an insightful. Today was intended to spark some conversations. Okay. So Bolaji, with this, can we say good night and let's see? I believe we've come to the end of tonight's program. So tomorrow we start with all the presentations and all the practical sessions. Omene Blessing is saying this is a nice section. Thanks to all of you. Now, please, I really encourage everybody to make sure you are here tomorrow. Okay, please make sure you are here tomorrow, and everything will be will be as we have planned it to be by the grace of God. Thank you so much. Magnus, thank you for your time. We know you spent so late. We want to say good night
Yeah.
at this point. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Charles says thanks to the organizers. It's worth it. Um, Umar says today has been everything I hoped for and more. Surprisingly, we Bolaji, we've not actually even done anything, right?
No, 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 no,
We've
no,
not
no,
done
no,
anything
no,
actually.
no, 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 not
Today
at all.
we just wanted to come and chat.
We're just about to lay the foundations,
Yeah,
right?
the class is for the standard and premium participants. Okay, so what we just got today was a teaser. So
Yeah.
please share this video with others and let them join us in the premium or the standard side. With this, I'd like to say good night, everybody. Thank you very much.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Good night. Thank you, Mr.
All right.
Bolaji. Yeah, Mr.
Okay.
Magnus, Dr. Magnus. Good night.
Yeah, I see Professor Rexwhite. Since this is on recording, let's see. Let's take Professor Rexwhite. Professor Rex, welcome, sir. Hello, Prof. Hello, Prof. Can you hear me? I can see you, Prof. Professor Rex, can you hear me? Oh, still having issue with his network. Okay. So tomorrow we're going to fix this challenge that Professor Rex is having. and we are going to hear from Prof. By the way, Professor Rex was my lecturer during my undergraduate days. So glad to reconnect with him today. So good night again, everybody. Good night. Thought we were going to be able to have Prof.